Hello everyone. Counting life by experiences is richer than counting life by years. That is what Padmaja Penmatsa believes in. And that is the central theme of our recent book, Butterfly on the Old Banyan Tree. So today we have Padmaja Penmatsa with us to talk about her book. Welcome Padmaja.
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you for coming here and actually doing this.
My pleasure. So Padmaja, tell me, why butterfly and why banyan tree?
In fact, a lot of people have been asking me. Now, butterfly is something which signifies the changes that we go through in life. It starts as a caterpillar and it goes through different stages, goes through a lot of transformation to become the fragile, beautiful butterfly.
True.
Who could ever think that, the dark, hairy creature can actually turn out to be such a beautiful butterfly? Somehow, I connect it to our lives. We all start as caterpillars. We all start as those people or, those little children or those individuals who might or might not know a lot of things. We start naive, we start innocent, we start very ambitious, wanting to do a lot of things in life. But then as the butterfly goes into a cocoon, we all go through the process called life. And maybe that's why they call that life is a journey. Because through the journey, there is so much that we all go through. Our ups and downs, our failures, our wins, there's so many things. And through the grind, there's a lot of transformation that we all go through. And then we actually come out being better individuals. Because when people talk about why should I have so many difficulties in my life, or, when people get bogged down looking at all the troubles and everything, if we actually take a pause and look back and reflect, I think those difficult times are the times which help us find our true selves. Because every time we come across a problem, the first thing that we all feel is like, I can't handle this.
Why me again?
Why me again?
Yeah.
But as we go through, we see that, we are much bigger than the problem.
True.
And that is how we actually transform and, we become better individuals. Yes. And that is where, I could connect it to the beautiful butterflies. Because once the butterfly is out of the cocoon, just imagine the kind of beauty it spreads across. The happiness that brings in.
True.
And I think that is what conscious individuals are actually doing right now. Because once they've gone through the journey, they're actually going out there and doing so many things in life. And we have such people in all fields. So that is where I felt, I could connect a life's journey of a person, of an individual, with that of a butterfly. And that's how I brought that. And now coming to the banyan tree. See, a banyan tree signifies the age-old wisdom. So it has actually passed so many years. It has kind of, lived through the weathers, all of it. And all the things that the banyan tree has gone through has made it so strong and so deep-rooted that, the strength is seen in the word banyan tree itself, the feeling that you get.
True.
And we all do have such rock-solid people in our life. There are many individuals, and not just individuals. Now, in my context, however that I've written, you can learn from different people, you can learn from different situations. You can learn from different things. So anything that you can learn from is something that I've depicted to be as a banyan tree.
Okay.
So when I say butterfly on the old banyan tree, that caterpillar which comes to the banyan tree to kind of spin its cocoon, and how it comes across. So that is why butterfly and the old banyan tree. And simply put, it actually speaks about the dichotomy of life. Butterfly is very new. It's always fluttering. And the banyan tree is age-old. And it's like so stuck and so grounded. And the conversation between the two, the exchange of energy, emotions between the two, I think that's what is the flow of the book actually.
So Padmaja, what made you to write this book?
Honestly speaking, I think I should tell you that the book is nothing but what I have learned in life.
Okay.
Because if I can tell you, maybe I was one such caterpillar as well. That's how we all start life, as I said. But very evidently, I was one. And then when I was going through my grinding process, whatever that I was learning and everything, so there came a point where kind of, it all kind of fitted in. Because if I have to look back through my journey today, I feel whatever ups and downs that I must have gone through, all the different experiences that I must have gone through, everything has been so worth it. Because if that was the path for me to come to be what I am today and how I am today, I feel the entire journey was worth it. So when I came to that point, it was a flush of energy, I just wanted to put it across. Because see, writing is something which I'd been doing for quite some time, but I was writing it only for myself.
Okay.
So this book also happened in the same way. I was just putting down my learning and my understanding of a lot of things in life, which I just put it in a notebook because I love writing, more than just typing it out. I love writing. So I wrote it in a book. When I finished half of it, somehow I felt the book was growing beyond me. Okay. It was getting too profound for myself. And I couldn't believe that, this was actually coming out. To be honest, I actually put it aside thinking, will I be enough to finish this book?
Okay.
So that was the thought which made me just keep the book aside. And this was in 2017, I should tell you.
Okay,
because,
you started the book
in 2017.
Okay.
Because the book which I wrote, there would be dates. I always date whatever I write.
Okay, great.
So I put it aside, and then when Corona happened and the lockdown happened and we all had so much time, I was like, okay, why leave it unfinished? I took it out and I kind of finished it. But again, I felt maybe it's a little silly. Butterfly on the Old Banyan Tree. I didn't know myself if I have to call it a children's book or if I have to call it, a book for adults, in everybody. So I just put the book aside. And one such evening when I was sitting with all my friends and everybody, somehow the topic just came in and they happened to see the book and, a couple of them read through it. Okay. And they were like, you've done such a wonderful work, why are you not putting it out? I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe, I think it's too silly. But then I sent out the book, to a few more people and I loved the response. And I think, the way they responded, people were able to relate to it. People were able to experience the book, not read it as a story or as information, but actually experience the book.
Okay.
And the way they came back, kind of telling me what they felt and how they felt, I think that's when I started believing in my own book.
Okay.
And that's when I took it out to a publisher and then, the entire process started off. So it didn't happen because I wanted to write a book. It just happened because I wrote something which was true to myself.
True to yourself. Padmaja, I've already read the book and the language you used is so simple. Like, what made you to write with such a simple language?
You know what? A lot of them asked me. They were like, Padmaja, your language is much superior than what you've actually written in the book. As I told you, I wrote the book because, I wanted to put out a certain message. The book is not to show my language prowess, or it's not a literature book.
True.
It's a book for some message. It's a book where I felt people should connect and people should kind of, see what it is. And in fact, it was for myself. As I said, I just wrote it for myself. So I was not testing my own language there. It's not because I can't write, much heavier language or, heavier words and everything, but I do not like complicating things unnecessarily. Now, is it necessary? Does the book require such heavy language or, such complicated language? No, it's just straight from the heart. So something which can be simple, why do we have to compulsively think that it needs to be complicated?
True.
In fact, it's come back in the same way. Children are able to read it.
Yes.
Now, my friends' kids have read it.
Okay.
Teenagers are able to read it. I have my son's friends, all of that age group reading it. And, they're coming back saying that, what, we love this book. I mean, I have a couple of corporates who have taken bulk orders and who have actually given it off, to all the senior leadership and everybody. So I see that from a corporate point of view, from a child point of view, from a housewife point of view, from a professional, from an entrepreneur, teenagers, everybody is able to read it. And, they're able to experience it in the same way.
True.
So I think that was more important for me. So it's for everybody.
So Padmaja, what do the characters signify?
Nivya, the caterpillar, and Z, the banyan tree.
Yes.
So Nivya is nothing but, it's actually heaven spelt backwards with one letter interchanged, because I wanted something which sounded fresh, I wanted something which sounded bubbly and, the childlike and everything. So that's how Nivya came in. And she's the caterpillar, very naive, a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of, innocence, everything put together, because that's how somebody starts a life's journey. And what she goes through, when she's in the cocoon, the silence that she actually learns. See, basically, what I wanted to show that was being simple is the way, but being simple is the most difficult thing.
Most difficult thing. True. Very true.
That's the thing. And Z means wisdom in Chinese.
Okay.
So, and then it's short, and it simply means wisdom. It simply means something which can give. So that's how these two characters came in. And I do have, there are many other characters which come in and go, through which Nivya sees different personalities. So there's Rover, the ants. Now, ants which are very hardworking. So we have so many hardworking people, who are so hell-bent on doing things day in and day out. But are they taking that pause to kind of look around and enjoy the day that is?
True.
There are people who do that as well. So it's all about perspectives. It's all about what you believe in and what you want to take. See, the world is out there for everybody.
Yes.
The resources are the same for everybody. Now, how you take them is what determines the kind of life you're going to have.
True.
So there are different characters. There's some doves, there's some birds which come in, which again talk to you about the communication gap.
Yes. That Nancy and Peter, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the communication gap that happens between two people. See, when somebody loves you or you love somebody, the expectation that you have from the other person, it's not always necessary that they respond in the way that you expect. But if you understand their expression, I think, it's going to be much more beautiful. But we are so hell-bent on kind of, drawing a boundary and just living in that and talking through that everything else goes unseen. And I think there's also a squirrel where, it's so much in a hurry to find the best fruit.
Yeah. Couldn't even wait until it gets...
Yeah, it just couldn't even wait until it gets till the fruit becomes ready.
Right. True.
So there's no point in plucking all the fruits, going about doing everything before time.
True.
A little bit of patience, will actually bring you to the best of the fruits possible. So it's like, it's a life told in a different way, that's all.
So Padmaja, while reading this book, I came across a line which says, gift yourself to yourself. Though it is simple, it is so profound. Like, what exactly you mean?
The entire life, through our journey of life, we keep searching for a lot of things.
Sure.
We search for those people, whom we can connect to. We search for places that we might love. We search for things that we would want to do and everything. But I think the closest in the vicinity and the deepest connection that we can ever have is with our own self. But that's one thing which we don't realize at all. Because we feel that, if we meet somebody or, if somebody else comes into our life, our life might be right. Or if I am put in a certain situation, maybe then my life will take off. Or if I go to some other place, maybe I can change things. But the honest and the brutal truth of life is only when you find your true self, only when you connect to your true self, you will actually be able to do anything else. Because when you find yourself where you are, with whom you are, what you do, and how you are, doesn't matter at all. Because at that point, life starts responding to you. It's not about you wishing for something, it's about things automatically start falling in place for you. Because you are actually with your own self. And as I said, that's the closest, you are the closest one for you. But the distance to reach that closest person of your own self is mighty, mighty, mighty long. And that's what we all miss out. But if you're able to do that, I think, life will change forever.
Change forever.
So that's what I meant. Gifting yourself to yourself. My God, that's the answer to anything.
Yes. Yeah. And also at one point of time, Nivya says, grew on the wing. So what exactly
you
is
mean,
that?
Nivya having
the grow
on
the
the
wing.
wing.
Yes.
So basically what happens is when the caterpillar is in the cocoon, it doesn't move usually, it cannot move. But Nivya being Nivya, our caterpillar
It's a bit
being
naughty.
being naughty, being
Yes.
naive and everything, she'll want to try to move. So there's a groove which happens. There's a curve which happens in the wing.
Yes.
So typically, what I wanted to explain is that without our own complete knowledge, we tend to do some mistakes because we want to do something else, to prove to somebody, to try something else or anything.
True.
See, the reason could be anything, but we all tend to do mistakes, and every mistake or every action will definitely have a consequence.
Consequences, definitely.
Yeah. So every mistake will leave a scar.
True.
Now, how you wear that scar is what is going to determine the kind of life that you're going to live. Now, when Nivya comes out, she sees that there's a slight groove on the wing, because of which the flight, the way she flies, goes a little cross. Now, for a caterpillar like Nivya, where she was so proud, thinking that when I come out, I'll become the most beautiful butterfly. I will fly around and everything. Accepting that it has actually made a mistake, which has left an undeniable mark, which has left a groove on its wing where the flight is not as what it had expected.
Correct.
But then owning up that mistake, rather than, because if you observed, even while you read through, you will see that Z is actually waiting with a bated breath. What is she going to do now, with this crookedness in the flight? So there is that silence where Nivya just says, you know what, I'm proudly wearing my learning on my wing now. So, see, the mistakes might happen because of yourself, because of situations, because of somebody else, whatever it is. But when it has happened, how you look at it will decide the kind of life you're going to live.
True.
So where she says that, I'm going to wear my learning. So how do you want to wear your scars? Proudly or cry over them? That will definitely it will give you a quality of life. So embrace your scars, love them. Be thankful, because that is what has brought us to being what we are.
What we are today. Yeah.
That will definitely change a lot of things.
So Padmaja, there is again one thing says like learning is important. Why learning is important? Why?
Now, if you ask me if learning is important, maybe it is important. But if you ask me if it is necessary, maybe it is not necessary.
Okay.
See, it all depends on how you feel about your life. Now, are you truly joyful being where you are and what you are? That's it, just continue living. Because we're not sitting here to give measure as to how much you need to learn or what you need to do.
Okay.
But the point is, if you ever feel deep within that, you know what, I could be a little better.
Okay.
You know what, I deserve more. This is not what I have to be, or this is not how I want to be. If any of these feelings occur, then maybe there is some learning for us.
Learning for us. Okay.
Because the world is not going to change. People around you are not going to change. The only thing which is in your control is your own self.
Is our own self. True.
And when you change, everything else changes. And that holds good for everybody. And when everybody changes, I'm sure only then the world will change.
True.
But the best joke that we all have is, we want everyone to change, we want the entire world to change, but not us. Because we feel we are perfect.
Perfect.
So how do we accept that we are actually imperfectly perfect?
Perfect. Yes.
That imperfections that we have in us, if we can accept them and embrace them, then there is a chance for us to actually understand that, there's so much learning that I need to do. So to learn or not to learn is your choice. There's no compulsion.
No compulsion. Okay. So Padmaja, the message is very clear. So as a joypreneur, what's next? So what's next in your journey?
So through the book also, through any of my work, all that I'm trying to do is to help people live more consciously. Now, what does living consciously mean? Where you can actually find a balance between your head and heart,
Okay.
between your mind and emotions.
Okay.
Because you cannot live just with one.
One. True.
So it all depends on how you navigate through your emotions, your logic and everything. Because only then you'll be able to find your actual joy.
Okay, balancing both of them.
Balancing. And maybe that's why I call myself Joypreneur, because that is what I'm trying to help people with.
Okay.
Because only when people get conscious, and today, these days, with the pandemic happening and everything, we are talking and we are seeing a lot of people move towards being sustainable, moving towards living a complete life, being more conscious, getting more organic and everything. Now, in this journey, the enterprises, the organizations that we have, I think it's time we all take a check. So I help in building conscious organizations.
Okay.
So what do you mean by conscious organizations? Because for an
Exactly.
organization
Yes.
to actually be conscious, the leadership needs to be conscious.
Conscious. Okay.
Why does somebody become a leader? Because of the longevity with the company, the loyalty, the experience, the expertise and everything.
True.
Now, through all these things, somebody becomes a leader. What next? Becoming a leader or getting the role that you wanted is the end point of something that you've already done.
Done. Okay.
But then it becomes the starting point of something that you need to do.
Need to do. Okay.
And what you need to do is be more people centric.
Okay.
Only then teams will work. Only then organizations will work. And when you have to handle your teams, you need to understand people.
People. True. Very true.
Now, to understand people, do you understand yourself?
Yourself. Yes.
So, wherever I start, I absolutely work on the aspect of self. And this is what I want to take much further into organizations, individuals. So, either through my training or one-on-one coaching or different workshops that I run, I help in building conscious people and conscious organizations.
Wow.
And that's where Joypreneur is. So, hopefully, it will work. Let's see.
So thank you, Padmasha, for your words. That was quite some learning, and thanks for your time. It was great meeting you.
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you
you.
so much.